Listen to the Vibes.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Listen to the Vibes. And I'm very privileged to have Mr. Don Dannemann here. He's a member of the Cyrkle. He also has written and put out a new song. I've had him on the show before, and I told him he was always welcome if anything came up. How's it going?
Great. And it's really good to be back.
I read your message and a little bit about the song. You had some vocals from your bandmate that had passed away and put music and everything to it. Tell me a little bit about what you did.
Okay, this was really exciting for me. And basically what happened is a friend of the band, photographer Daniel Costin, sent me a song out of the blue. He just sent it. He says, "Hey, Don, listen to this." And I listened to it, and it was a pleasant song. You know, I didn't know what he was even driving at. I recognized some 60s influence, some Beatles influence in the song, and I'm listening. And okay, now I get back to him. Okay, Daniel, why did you send me this song? And now he tells me this song was recorded in 2002 by a fella named Andrew Sandoval. And he was good friends with your old now deceased bandmate, Tom Dawes, and Tommy sings all of the background vocals on this recording. So I did a double take when I heard this. I went, oh my God, because I had thought about doing what I'm going to tell you now for a while. Ever since Tommy died, I had thought, you know, it would really be nice to get some vocals of his and be able to put them together, kind of along the lines with the Beatles. I'm blanking out on the Free as a Bird, Beatles Free as a Bird, where they took an old John Lennon song. Well, this wasn't exactly the same thing, because what I wanted to do was take Tommy's vocals and write a new song. Using those vocals and make it a history of us, because he was really meaningful in my life. I mean, he sings Red Rubber Ball along with me. I started out and then he joins in, and that's the Cyrkle sound. And so Andrew Sandoval was very kind, let us have the tracks, let me do whatever I wanted with them, actually. And so I was able to strip off Tommy's vocals and edit them and move them around and a little pitch changing here and there. And I didn't know where it was going to go. I knew roughly where I wanted to go. And I laid them out, and I basically said, okay, I think if I lay them out this way, I could get a song out of this. And I had to change speed and pitch and everything. And finally, I got to a point where I said, okay, I think I got a song here. Now let me write it. And when I wrote it, I found myself tearing up because it brought back all those memories.
Right.
And so basically, the first vocal line that you hear is the only word he actually sang. All the vocals were oohs, basically. He's singing background vocals, but the only one word that he did sing was fly. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to write a song. And the concept is, we got together and we thought we could fly. You know, the Cyrkle got together, we thought we could fly. We started out, actually the song kind of details the history. We started out, the first time I met them, the guys, was at a freshman mixer where the band took a break. The band that was hired, and a couple of guys went in and started playing, Tommy being one of them. And I lugged my amp down I was upstairs, and I asked, hey, could I play with you? Yeah, come on, come play. And that was the beginning. It was one of those magic moments. Yeah, it all worked. We knew the same songs, we started playing. Buddy Holly, Everly Brothers. I knew the lead to Walk, Don't Run, if you're old, people are old enough and they know the songs. And that was the beginning of the rondelles at Lafayette College that became the Cyrkle. And so I took the song and we just kind of went through the history, and that relationship was so meaningful. So what I was able to do is I did a bunch of takes of myself singing after I recorded. And then I was able to pull a combination of videos and photographs and mix them in on the video, some of which are the old pictures of he and I together, some of he alone, a couple of pictures of the whole band. And we mixed them up and we got a whole song and a video. And the song ends basically where in 2007, the year 2007, we actually had decided, we were both retired and we thought, let's do a band again. Then the evening that he was supposed to come out and visit my wife and I in Pennsylvania, he was going to drive out from New York, he and his wife, and we were talking about starting this band again. He calls me up and he tells me, hey, Don, last thing came up. I got to have carotid artery surgery.
Oh, no.
And he made it not a big deal. So, okay, well, it's a short operation, but obviously it can't come out this weekend. My doctor didn't want me to wait. Anyway, and he died on the operating table at night. So that was, oh my God. So I was on the phone back and forth with original Rondell / Cyrkle keyboard player, Earl Pickens, who is actually a surgeon in Florida, retired now, but, and he was trying to figure out what happened, but it didn't make any difference. He died. And Earl and I cried on the phone all night. It was just really, really sad. So writing this song was a real emotional trip for me to kind of go back and experience that. And when you look at the video, you could see he and I really liked each other. You could, and I even forgot about that. You could look at like on the hullabaloo shots, you see from the side, we're kind of looking at each other and laughing and smiling, like kind of stuff that we did. It was a real experience to do that. And so to write the song and put it out is just an amazing thing for me. When we do concerts now, and when you sing at a concert, you don't hear your voice through yourself. You hear it through speakers because that's loud. Everything is loud, and you hear yourself. And I am blessed, and I feel very blessed that when I hear coming back through the speakers, when I sing Red Rubber Ball, it still sounds like Red Rubber Ball. Yeah. To me, and I don't know why God let me do this, but yeah, my voice is still pretty much what it was back then. So it's very cool. And to take Tommy's voice, the first couple of things about singing with him again, the first line that you hear is just the two of us with the word fly. It goes, fly. And so I'm singing the low part. He sings right above me. And it's basically Red Rubber Ball harmony. Now, the song is not like Red Rubber Ball at all, right? But on purpose. But that harmony is he and I. So it's right back there. And at that point, his voice was still the same voice. Before he died. We're getting old now, but his voice was still the same. Anyway, so there's a whole bunch of harmony oohs, right? Which I use, and then of course I sang the lead over that. But I made sure when I mixed it that you could really hear the oohs because I wanted he and I, which is very similar to part of Red Rubber Ball and a lot of Turn Down Day. There was he and I. I'm singing the words and he's singing an ooh with it. And then you can call it the instrumental. But instead of an instrumental, it's actually an a cappella group harmony that Tommy did. And I was able to sing over it, which there's that blend again. It was a Beach Boy kind of sound, which we loved. And the thing that I got a real kick out of, most people won't notice it when they hear the song, but over his harmony, I was able to sing with my falsetto the organ part of Red Rubber Ball, which is one of the signature sounds of Red Rubber Ball. Ba, 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 da, ba, ba. But I did ba, 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 da, ba, 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 da, ba, over his harmony. And so there we are together doing Beach Boy stuff, which we loved. And I'm singing the organ part of Red Rubber Ball over it. So once again, another little meaningful kick in the whole thing.
Some people say you shouldn't meet your heroes, but I'm glad that I got to meet you guys.
Well, thank you. You know, and I am tickled pink to be a part of an entity, the Cyrkle, and to be the original member, and have people still interested, this far down the road. I will turn 79 in May.
Wow.
And that I can still do this at this age and still have people that are interested in it, and people come and, I get all sorts of like Red Rubber Ball stories that blew me away. I can share with you my sense of Red Rubber Ball when we first recorded it was cute song. And pretty much, and I was really tickled that it was a hit, but cute song. Okay, pleasant, cute song. That's what I thought of it. And so I can share with you a couple of, I would say, epiphanies that I had about Red Rubber Ball through the years. And what I said about Red Rubber Ball, cute song, that's how I thought about it up until somewhere in the mid 80s. A record company that deals in oldies in the mid 80s, Sundays is the name of it. I don't know if you know it or not. Anyway, they got the license to put out all the old Cyrkle catalog. Got the license from Columbia, now Sony. And they wanted a comment on it. And they sent me a haha cassette at the time. And I didn't even listen to it. They wanted a comment on it, and I didn't listen to it for a while. And finally, I was by myself on an airplane and I had my Walkman, haha. And I thought, all right, let me listen to it. I popped the cassette in the Walkman. I put headphones on. I crouched down and I listened. And the first thing that comes on is Red Rubber Ball. And I was actually blown away by a new perception of Red Rubber Ball, the song and the recording. First thing you hear when that comes on, you hear the organ, ba, 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 da, ba, ba, and the lead guitar, ba, da, 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 and they blend together so wonderfully. And if you're from the era and you know the song, it takes you less than a second to know that it's Red Rubber Ball. It's its own sound. It's very unique. And then I hear myself come in and I'm thinking, wow, that sounds like the Cyrkle. And then I hear Tommy come in and join me and I go, wow, that sounds like the Cyrkle. And I realized that we really had our own unique sound, because that doesn't sound like any other band ever. When you hear that, he and I, and that arrangement and that sound, and I went, oh my God, I guess it really did deserve to be a hit record. It was very unique. It had its own thing. And then, all right, so leave that. All right, now go to a current time period. Now with the revival, the Cyrkle revival that I am a part of and honored to be so. And we get, it especially happens at meet and greets after shows, you meet, and which is very rewarding to do. And I get people that come up to me all the time with Red Rubber Ball stories. And just an example, well, of course, typical. Somebody will come up and say, "Oh, can you sign this 45? This is the first 45 I ever had. We played it to death." Wow, cool. Okay. All right. Another one, a gentleman came up to me after a show and he looks at me very seriously. "Thank you." Okay, you're welcome. Why are you thanking me? And he says, "I just want you to know that Red Rubber Ball got me through my divorce. It was so uplifting. It just made you feel good. I think it's going to be all right. Yeah, the worst is over now. The morning sun is shining like a red rubber ball." Oh, and I go, wow, okay. But the one, now this happened more than once, but the first time it happened was like, oh my God. A gentleman comes up to me. He's an older guy. Well, we're all older guys, I guess, at this point. He comes up to me. He said, he's a veteran. He's clearly a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "I want to let you know that I was in Nam, and I can't tell you how many battles Red Rubber Ball got us through with a little battery operated tape recorder that we had." Wow. That had Red Rubber Ball on it. And we teared up and hugged. I mean, it was so meaningful. And so what I realized is, and I'm just amazed that I didn't realize it until recent years. Red Rubber Ball, it turns out, either was or became one of the premier feel-good anthems of the 60s. And I was a lead singer. I was a major part of it. And I am honored and blown away to have been a part of the lives of thousands and thousands of people, most of whom I'll never meet, but some I do. And it's great to meet them and hear that, and amazing, just amazing. We all have our time, and, we have our music that we grew up with. And, for me, I mean, there's a certain quality. To me, I consider myself a 50s, 60s, 70s kind of guy. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not to say that I don't recognize great music after that, because I do. I mean, there is some really good music, but there was definitely a quality of the music of those times. I still remember my first doo-wop song that I got exposed to, sitting on our back porch in Brooklyn. Would have been 1955, I think. And I got a new transistor radio for my birthday, and we were on the back porch, and I'm just playing with the channels with my new little radio. And I came across Alan Freed,
mm-hmm.
Original rock DJ, rock and roll, coined the term rock and roll.
Coined it, right.
Yeah. And I stopped cold. And I still remember this, the first song that came on, it was a song by a group called the Nutmegs called "Story Untold." Typical down and dirty doo-wop ballad, but it just grabbed me. It was like, what is this? Oh my God. And I stopped. I tuned it a little, listened to it. I listened to it, I think, all evening. I actually skipped my favorite TV shows that night, listening to Alan Freed rock and roll show. And it just got me started. It made me want to do it. The early rondelles, now this is still pre-Cyrkle back at Lafayette College. One of our biggest early influence were the Beach Boys. Well, besides all the normal stuff that, right, you might do, but the Beach Boys, we were thrilled to be able to do, "She's Real Fine, My 409, mm-hmm. Which was like around that time. And as the Beach Boys got a little more complicated, we worked it out. I mean, we could do Beach Boys and really sound like them. Which was also, a thrill for us. But when the Beatles came in, that was also blown away by, the Beatles. And we learned all of the early Beatles stuff, that stuff. I mean, Please Please Me, I Want to Hold Your Hand, those early Beatles things. And one of a major event that was that helped the Cyrkle get to the Rondells get to the place where we could become the Cyrkle. This is actually, I think I mentioned it in the song, spring 1964. Mm-hmm. The Rondells at Spring Interfraternity Weekend, which is a big ball kind of, it's in the gym of the school and the whole school is there. They hire a big band and they hire a rock band. And we were the rock band. And we announced to everybody, hey, we're going to do a Beatles show for this. And it was one of those moments when we did our Beatles show. We bought long-haired wigs. We didn't have long hair, but we had long-haired wigs. We did a Beatles show. And it was such a success. I mean, the whole place went wild when we did all these Beatles songs. And it was probably as good a moment for an entertainer as I say this very often, even playing with the Beatles themselves, which we of course did. We were on the Beatles tour in 1966, playing with the Beatles, having a hit record, the whole thing. This moment in time actually equaled that. It was such an amazing event. And because of that event, and people who wanted to try this and that, I don't need to go into every detail, but that event got us to Atlantic City, got us to play at the Alibi Bar, got us to meet Nat Weiss, Brian Epstein's American partner, who walked into the Alibi at the end of the summer of 1965 and heard us and said, hey, wow, I think you guys are really good. He, in talking to him, he knew I was going to be back in New York, suburb New York, living with my parents. He said, well, when you're back, give me a call. Maybe we can get something going. And it was through him I actually got to meet Brian. I was the first one because I was there. Mm-hmm. And of course, met Brian, got the Columbia record contract, heard Red Rubber Ball, got named by John Lennon. I mean, played with the Beatles. That Beatles concert at Lafayette in the spring of 1964 was the thing that was the beginning of the chain that made all that happen. So, I mean, I just feel very blessed and lucky to have had it happen.
Don, thank you so much for coming on. And I'm going to put the links to your Facebook and to the website so people can click on it and go straight to it.
Thank you for responding.
Oh, of course.
And it was lovely to see you again. And so,
same here.
We will stay in touch.
Tell the guys I said hi.
I will do that.
To everyone out there, if you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe and come back. For those of you who are regular, I appreciate the support. It's because of you we do what we do. And so until the next time, everyone, please take care. Be kind to one another. God bless and peace. We thought we could fly.